Hello, Flat Earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. I'm going to play a quick clip of an aircraft doing a wide circle and going overhead. And this is to illustrate exactly what we see when we watch the sun and the moon going overhead from the equator, and how this kind of observation of an aircraft going above and off into the distance fits exactly with the observations of the sun and the moon doing circles above a level stationary Earth. So after this clip, I'll play a couple more videos that I made back in 2015 and 2016 of my own observations of the sun, or more precisely sunspots on the sun and the moon, and in which we see both the sun and the moon coming towards us from the east and then going off to the west as they go overhead. And we'll see that those observations of the sun and the moon fit exactly with this kind of observation of an aircraft going overhead. So we'll play the clip and you can see that the aircraft is coming over. And if you imagine this being the same as looking up at the sun as it does a circle above us, we'll see that it comes overhead, and then I have to turn around and basically face the other way as it goes off into the distance. And this is the kind of observation that we make from the equator. And the aircraft is doing this wide circle but maintaining a consistent height, but of course appears to sink towards the horizon. So let me just go back and we'll watch that again. There it is going overhead. And again, after this, we'll see videos of the sun and the moon, or the markings on the sun and the moon, maintaining their position on the sun and moon, but of course appearing to rotate as the camera follows them off into the distance. And there we go, off it goes off to the horizon. That's exactly what we see the sun doing. So I'll leave you with those previous videos and hope it helps get it into your head how it all works when we make observations of the sun and the moon above a level stationary Earth. Thank you very much. The sun appears to veer off to the right as it gets further away. So to me, this indicates that it is doing a circle. This is where we start to see the evidence that the sun is doing a circle around or above the level Earth. So here is a spinning globe, as we are told it is, with a red line representing the equator. And as Australia comes round, you will see that Indonesia and Thailand are just above it, and Phuket pretty much on that equator. So here is a screen grab from timeanddate.com showing Phuket with a red star and the sun in the position it was at sunset, which was about 6:30 p.m. on the 23rd of February. And we can see here that the sun is actually not in line with us from Phuket. It's down further south, which would have been left on the footage of the sunset, but we actually saw the sun veer off to the right, which would mean it actually was heading in a more northerly direction. And on this map, you would expect the sun to be further up north, not down south, compared to what we see. So how do we rectify this conflict? We simply turn the map into a flat Earth map, and we can see now that the line going west, that was a straight line, is now a curved line going in a clockwise direction, just how we would circumnavigate the flat Earth. And you can see that as the sun follows that line, it would actually veer off to the right, or appear to veer off northwards from our viewing position in Phuket. So let's just go back to that footage one more time with the lines so that we can see as the sun gets further away, it is in fact appearing to do that circular motion in a clockwise direction off to the right. And it's at this point, as the sun reaches the horizon, that we have one of the most challenging aspects of seeing or understanding how the sun sets over the level Earth, with the horizon apparently cutting off the sun as it goes down. Now remember, as we said, that if we were higher up, then we would actually see further. We wouldn't see any curve, we would just see further. It would still be flat, and we could see the sun for longer. That's just a normal, natural visual phenomenon on any kind of surface. Here we have an illustration that is commonly used to show how we supposedly see horizons on the globe Earth, and they always put the observer somewhere on the side, and their view becomes blocked by this hump of the curvature in front of them. We can see it here with the boat as well, stuck on the side of the globe. But of course, if we are on a ball, no matter where you are on that ball, we should actually always be on top of the ball. Wherever we are, the surface behind us, beside us, in front of us, behind us, should always be curving away from us. There is no way that we should have any kind of curvature or hump or swell blocking our vision if we are on a ball. If we are on a ball, we are always on top, and our line of sight directly ahead should have the surface gradually dropping away from us. It is our eyes which always bring the horizon up to eye level. So however far we can see across the surface is where the surface cuts off our view of the sky, and therefore cuts off the sun as it travels away and continues to appear to sink down to the horizon without ever actually doing so. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and find it useful. I'd like to demonstrate in this video how we can all make observations of the moon and the sun from different locations to see how they all fit together on this flat Earth. Here I have an illustration of what I see from Phuket, near the equator in southern Thailand, when the moon rises in the east from pretty much the same location as the sun, and you can see that if the moon has a shadow, it is on the top of the moon as it comes up from the east.
and reaches its zenith overhead, and then I have to turn around and watch it head off to the west in the same direction as the sun. But from my perspective, the shadow on the moon has flipped over to the bottom. So let's have a look at timeanddate.com. This was on the 23rd of August, and where there we can see the moon was at its zenith at 4:19 in the morning, and you can see the heading was 282 degrees west, pretty much direct west. And here's just another map showing my location with the cross and where the moon is said to have been at that time.
It's 4 a.m. I'm in my front garden in Phuket. The moon came up in the east over there. I am now going to lift the camera and show you the moon at its zenith. And you'll see, while I'm heading east, the shadow of the moon taking up the top half. Okay, the moon is at its zenith. Okay, moving down. Now I'm going to turn 180 degrees and now facing west, the direction the moon is going to head off in. Rising the camera, back on the moon again, and the shadow now appears to be on the bottom. Okay, facing west, heading west, almost 90 degrees, turning around anti-clockwise. Facing east. Okay. Heading north. West. Okay. East. West.
This footage of the sun and some sunspots that I'm about to show you may be another proof of the flat Earth. I filmed the sun from my balcony at about 10:30 in the morning as it was coming towards me, and then after the sun had gone overhead, I filmed from the other side of the house at 2:30, 3:30 and 4:30. The interesting thing was that the 10:30 shot in the morning, the sunspot was towards the upper edge of the sun, but the afternoon footage shows the sunspot towards the bottom of the sun. So this would indicate that like a plane or something flying overhead, this is what the sun is doing compared to us actually rotating around it. Whereas if that was the case, I think the sunspot would remain pretty much in the same place. So hopefully this illustration will help you see what I mean, and I'll leave you to watch the footage and make up your own mind. Thank you.